I'm just calling you Mr. Options, Quasar Markets Live. Hey, Scott, how are you today, man? You're muted. You're on mute, Scott.
Sorry. So many screens open. That's how my day is. That's how things are looking today. It's this back and forth. Not great for the markets. Great for trading. I don't think it's great for the market.
Yep.
I actually liked yesterday's move, not just because it was up 50 points or whatever by the end of the day, but we saw this kind of gradual move yesterday. Lots of volume. Seemed like there was some conviction behind it. And then, here we are today, started off, kind of whatever, and then took a big dive as things escalated during the day, geopolitically. So we saw rates going higher, and that's what pushed the market down. Rates went higher because of the escalation, because oil prices shot higher, worries about inflation, blah, blah, blah. It's all interconnected here. And that's what really took this down. Now, what's interesting to me is I'm looking at the VIX here, and yes, people look at the VIX. It's up 18% today. Okay, big number. However, earlier in the week, when we had a not even as severe a move in the markets, okay, we almost touched 30. What does that tell me? That tells me that the market is starting to feel a bit complacent about this move. Not complacent like they're just blowing it off, brushing it off, but complacent like, okay, you know what? This elevated volatility is probably here for a while, but maybe we're not going to see the shock, the spikes. So that's what that's telling me. Now, I'll say that, and maybe, God forbid, we'll wake up tomorrow, we'll see if it's at 35. I highly doubt that is going to happen, but that's what I read.
Scott, I'm actually shorting oil here, a little down on it, but
you got put spreads in XOP today.
Bought put spreads in XOP. All right, There you go. Excellent.
Yep. Rather than looking at crude futures, rather than looking at just an individual stock, XOP is a really nice big ETF. Trades with a ton of volume, pretty darn liquid, and we bought put spreads.
Yeah, and I am actually long SCO. I think the ultra fund here for Bloomberg, and I do like this short because I don't see Iran prolonging this war. They don't be cut off. I know that they're having issues, but I said it on my show earlier. When you have 55 bombs going off at the beginning, and now all of a sudden they don't have nearly as many drones going out, nearly as many things. It just seems like this buying the oil dip here, it just is insane to me. I think we have a glut of oil in the
market. We do have a glut of oil. If we ever, I don't want to say if, when we get back to kind of just looking at fundamentals, oil could drop $15. I mean, because we have a glut. You said Iran, maybe is not going to let this last longer. I agree with that, but I also think that President Trump is not going to let it last longer. You know why? Because we've got elections coming up.
Yeah.
Oil prices like this, inflation's, going higher. That is a recipe for disaster for the Republican Party.
Yeah, you talk about from 2018, the midterms for the president. He lost 17% of the House, the Republican side. They're looking at bigger losses now.
Bigger losses. Yep.
You haven't even seen a Republican win an election yet. And some of the people that are even in power, they got primaried, especially in Texas. Does Texas go turn blue here?
I don't know about that. I mean, I'm not the political pundit. I don't know. There's a lot of what we see in the media on TV and a lot of what people will say, but when they go to the ballot boxes, things can always change.
Right. Yeah, totally true. I agree with that. All right, Scott, let's get right to it. It looks like a lot of the selling that we've seen here in the markets has moved into the dollar. The Dixie now sitting here at 99.23. Is dollar the safe haven? Are you see it in Bitcoin?
I mean, it did what it's supposed to do over the last several weeks, right? And it's so interesting because if you think about the three safe havens, right? Tried and true, gold, dollar, treasuries. Okay. Gold's not higher. Gold's under pressure.
Down.
Treasuries, after bottoming out last week, right? We saw the 10-year down at like 397. All of a sudden, they've exploded. I'm sorry, treasury prices are getting
Right.
backed as rates are exploding higher. Right?
4.13 now on the 10-year. Yep.
Yeah, that's the inverse of what's supposed to happen there. So out of those three, the dollar is probably the one that, did its thing. But just like we were talking about when this cycle ends, and it will end, whether it's tomorrow, next week, 2 months from now, whenever it ends, just like we were talking about the price of oil due to the fundamentals and there being so much of a glut of oil, what's going to happen to the dollar? I think the risk to the dollar is still to the downside. Once the conflict ends here, I think we could see the dollar back down to 97.
Yeah. Any stocks you're looking at? I know I just got tinged here a few seconds on CoreWeave. Anything you're looking at?
We just got long ANET, Arista Networks.
Yep.
ANET. We actually took the opportunity this morning to get out of a bunch of long positions that we've been holding that just popped nicely. DoorDash, Amazon, Wayfair this morning, even though it's down $2.50 right now, was up huge again this morning. And Uber. Those are 4 longs that we got out this morning at really, really nice prices. Haven't initiated a bunch more yet. Looking at it, definitely looking at it. ANET is for sure one. I'm going through my list here. We did buy one of the defense stocks, and I'm getting a little bit dinged on it right now. Probably bought a little bit too early, and that is KTOS, Kratos Defense.
Kratos Defense,
favorite of mine over the last month or so. So bought it on the dip. That dip is getting larger, but that's why I'm always using options, and I know what my risk is. Always controlling my risk. Outside of that, that's all that I have done on the buy side. If you want to bring up something interesting that traded today, pull up the Qs.
Yeah, QQQ. I can do it. Yeah, give me a second. I'll have the charts up for you. But I sold everything yesterday. Scott, I had nothing trading, and this morning I started buying Royal Caribbean on the dip. And I'm now shorting oil quite heavily here now. I think to me,
I will tell you what I am looking at, and this kind of goes hand in hand with the short oil trade. Some of these airlines getting, Delta, United, they're getting smacked on the crude price move. There could be some dip buying to be done there.
All right, so there's a certain time frame you're looking here on the Qs.
So look at what I want you to bring up. Actually, I want to show everybody something that traded today, traded in size, and it's next Friday's expiration, March 13th. So I don't know if you can bring up.
Can't pull that up right now. I don't have it. I have my options on another screen right now, but I can definitely look at the charts.
I can share my screen, right?
Yeah, of course.
Let's do that. There we go. Okay. Look in here. Okay. So this is the put side in the Qs for next Friday. Mammoth trade today. This 585, 575 put spread traded 55,000 times. Now, someone may just look at the tape and say, oh my God, the puts are lighting up the tape, right? In fact, a couple of people said to me they were both bought. Okay, well, sure, they were both bought, but they were also both sold. So here's what happened.
They're both sold.
If you look at the open interest here, and I think I find this very, very interesting and positioning. If you look at the open interest going into today, those 575s had about 72,000. Okay, not much here on the 585s, but these 595s had 63,000. So what I believe happened is whoever owned this 595, 575 put spread, which has been out there for quite some time.
Right.
Whoever owned that is rolling up their 575 short put up to the 585 to collect some credit against this put spread.
Yep.
So
Interesting.
now effectively they have the 595, 585. And my guess is I have to go back and look at the prices. My guess is they're probably in that put spread for free based on what they initially bought, the $20 wide put spread, and then the credit that they got on the roll today. So it'll be interesting to watch this one. But this is big. You know, you hear about put walls in the S&P all the time. This is something to watch in the queues for next Friday's expiration. That is going to be a massive area that if we sell off further, and we're only 10 points away from that first strike, there is going to be a massive put wall there. So something to just keep an eye out.
We're seeing oil dropping now from 81.50 now a barrel to 80.84 in less than a few seconds here. Scott, you know, these tweets or analyses are coming out pretty fast.
It's crazy how quick the market moves on these tweets, et cetera, et cetera.
And I don't really, you know, oil gets jiggy like this, and I get excited because you know, being a Southern Illinois boy and understanding oil as long as I have, I can tell you that that this oil jump is a little silly for me. U.S. Interior Secretary Burgum now says Venezuela is now allowing mining to be checked more strictly. So it looks like the president really is using Venezuela as a sounding board for gold and a place to pick up that oil. So I like that too. And we have a glut. I know you're busy, Scott. Just wanted to say thank you for being part of what we're doing, and looking forward to seeing you on the 20th as well, because you're for big media day. I'm excited about that. Looking for 2 million viewers.
You got it.
All right, okay, Scott. See you next week, my man.
Take care, bud.